Right.
Oh,
Okay. So we've not had the mic test this. This is a bit of risky business. Welcome to the Audible. It's week 15. And isn't it great to be a Denver Broncos fan? It's absolutely fantabulous. Lee, how you doing, mate? Did you catch much of the football for the weekend? You had a good week. Tell us what's going on. AKA, he's behind you.
He's behind me. I'm literally outside the theatre now, ready to go into Panto. So you've got me for about 15 minutes. Had a crazy weekend. Been in Germany this weekend, so kind of catching up on the football as when I got home. Unfortunately, obviously witnessed the Eagles game, which as you said, it was a great game. Just didn't kind of fall in the direction I was really hoping that would fall. But yeah. Anyway, Steve, what you been up to?
watching football. Yeah, pretty much. That's about it. But I've got a bit of a PSA I want to start with for this week. So, my fellow listeners, we need to talk. Ladies and gentlemen, neutral observers, sworn enemies, and all those who politely enjoyed my weekly Kansas City delusions, gather close. What I'm about to say may shock and disturb you, and may cause at least 3 of you to pause the podcast and go, finally. I come before you today with a heavy heart, a bruised ego, and a Google search history full of phrases like, can optimism be a diagnosable condition? I must confess something dark, something quite honestly embarrassing. I have been a delusional Chiefs fan. Yes, I said it. I am in fact a podcasting equivalent of a child insisting their goldfish is just resting. I have defended them like a medieval knight guarding a cardboard castle. Justified losses with mental gymnastics so complex the Cirque du Soleil is called to ask if I'm available. But today I sit before you a humbled man, so here it is, my official on-the-record statement. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs.
Oh, he said it!
There, I said it. The earth didn't
Okay.
split open, the sky hasn't fallen, and this room is not filled with tiny violinists. But I accept reality now, a bleak, icy reality. A reality where the Chiefs are watching the playoffs the same way we are, from the sofa, beer in tow, judging from afar. So to all the listeners, I apologise for my delusion, my denial, and my unwavering, illogical optimism that's defied reason, physics, and at least one doctor's recommendation. I promise to be better, and above all else, if the Chiefs somehow make the playoffs, I will absolutely 100% shamelessly revert back to my full-blown delusion. Thank you, and may football have mercy on us all.
Yeah, mate, fucking awesome.
Oh, wow. FYI, folks, this is the reason they weren't here last week because the team were awful the week before, so it's not just last week as well. Wow. Well, with me, hang on, we got a comment. Runs through throwing flags while drinking rum. I love that. Have we got any other comments? No, just that one so far. Well, folks, welcome to the Audible. Yes, it's week 15. Lock in them fantasy football teams. Let me just turn that off because we don't have the comments showing because we have too many black comments. Yeah, folks, looking forward to Britball starting again soon. Did anyone see the new league formation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, first of all, I don't think any teams from England should have to travel to Scotland. And people, the one thing I will always say is people are very quick to go, them poor teams having to travel to Aberdeen. Aberdeen would have to do the travelling down as well. Got to think of both teams. So for me, it needs to be a Scottish league. And obviously try and rebuild because there were so many teams used to be in Scotland. With the Northern Div 1, I've always said that Birmingham should never have been relegated because who was it who didn't? Shropshire Revolution didn't finish all the games.
Yeah.
I know we are going to go into NFL, but we just want to talk about this quickly. So for me, the Revs should have been in that relegation game against a brilliant Leicester. Got nothing but love for Leicester. Brilliant team. They're going to, for me, they'll go up again. And then, I mean, what's it looking like down south? I mean, my geography down south isn't particularly fantastic. Any?
I mean, the alignments aren't too bad. So looking at
apart from Scotland, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, the south is fairly quite nicely knitted together, but it's just you're looking at the Ipswich Cardinals and the Norwich Devils going up against the Olympians and Hertfordshire Cheetahs. These fantastic teams. It's just going to be carnage. I really think it's going to be carnage. I mean, it's probably what the league needed, but it's just a shock, isn't it? It's just such a shock.
Well, like you've got so in a Northern league, I think, and I've inboxed teams that I knew around me that were about to fold. I inboxed one team last season. I knew there was issues, and I was like, "Let me help you. I will help you. I'm staying with my club, but I will help you." Last thing I want to see is a team fold. My only concern, I mean, because I've been the one calling for it as well. But when I seen that, I was like, my only concern is teams fold them. You don't want that. And I think we as a Britball community, we need to get around, the teams like that who potentially could be in that position. So I think you might. Do you see Prem players who go and fancy a bit of that? Because for me, you might get some Prem players who want to go to Div 1, but that might look even more appealing to them now because it's not just 4 teams they're going to play. So there's so many factors. It's absolutely interesting on. But I think we need to talk over some NFL football. What do you think, boys?
I'm excited.
Okay, so the first game I want to talk about last week was the Kansas City. No, not really. Right, so let's get into it. Week 14. Let's start it how we mean to. The Lions against the Cowboys. There was no pick sent out last week. We were all extremely busy, as well as our admins on all these social media sites. But we're back up and running. For anyone who hasn't voted in the poll, please do. Thank you very much. Yes, so the Lions against the Cowboys. Lions won 44 to 30. I think I picked the Cowboys. Lee's coming back in now. I picked the Cowboys. It's a brilliant win for the Lions again when they needed it. You thought Cowboys getting that easy win the week before against the Chiefs. I'm trying to get them to bite.
What about the week before when they lost to the Eagles as well? Well, they beat the Eagles.
Yeah, look, it's football. Hang on, wait there. What happens if a team finishes bottom, for example, 3 years in a row? Did they got dropped to associates? I don't think they would in Britball. And the reason I say that is there's loads you can criticise back and forth, and a lot of people do, and there's loads you can praise them for. They want as many teams in as possible, and if anything, what they should be doing is they should be, can they suggest some coaching class, coaching courses, or have people come down and visit, a set team or whatever. I know obviously there's other bits put on. I don't think they'd send them back to associate. We want as many teams playing. I've said there should be a team in every town and city, and I'd love that. That would be, great for anyone who loves football.
Well, me and Lee were talking about that a few weeks ago when we met up. Like, we realised there's not a team I can go join anywhere near Gloucester. I'd have to travel for at least an hour to get to a team.
Well, you say that, mate, and I get that, by the way. Again, I want it in every town and city, but there's other teams that are closer to me than the one I play for,
Yeah.
And I've played Div 1.
Yeah, you're
I'm not claiming that.
spoiled where you are.
Yeah, but I still travel. Like,
Spoiled.
no, let me get this out. I still travel about an hour to get to training, hour each way, and that's because that's how everyone else should be. Everyone else should be spoiled with it.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm not at over teams. I'm not going to name them over teams. But the reason I'm at the team I'm at now is because I love the culture. I love the team. There's it's literally, apart from the Holton Spartans, minus the bullying that was going on, it's the best team I've ever been involved with. So yeah, it's an interesting one, because we're doing this show about NFL, and it's reaching out to everyone in the UK. Well, it's the opportunity to reach out to everyone in the UK. But we want them to encourage them to play for a team, and they might have that same issue as Steve. So ideally, this sport just keeps growing bigger and bigger, and everyone gets spoiled for choice.
Yeah, true.
Right, boys, what did you think about the Lions and Cowboys? I'm going to go for Lee first.
I think the Cowboys had a really good game. The Cowboys come out guns blazing, and I think it was just overall it was a fantastic game to watch. Some really good sort of offensive plays in there, and I think they were fighting to get back on track. They've had a few rough weeks with some embarrassing losses, but they've sorted themselves out this week, and I think Dan Campbell still play calling. I think he's doing all right at the moment. But the Cowboys, I think we can safely say that. I think their chances of getting into the playoffs has just shrunk that little bit more.
Yeah, how many wins have they got this year?
I think they're 6-7 at the moment. I believe at the moment.
Now, I know obviously we had that statement before from Steve, and Steve was entertaining. It was very, very good. How much you use ChatGPT for, I don't know. But there's still people saying, there's still professionals saying that the Chiefs have a chance. Well, if the Chiefs have a chance, surely the Cowboys still have a chance.
They're not eliminated yet.
Yeah.
No,
there's
not
mathematical possibilities, but
yeah.
Interesting. Who else is in their group?
You got the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders.
The last two have both already been eliminated as well.
So they're only 2 wins behind the Eagles, and I'm not. We have a group chat, and I have said that I do believe the Eagles will win the remainder of the games this season. I'll always try and say what I believe, but they're only 2 wins behind. Obviously, if I was to be wrong, and let's be honest, I can be wrong every now and again. Stranger things have happened. Strange things, but that's why we love football. That's why we love football. Steve, any stats on this one? What did you think, mate?
I don't have any stats for this. For some reason, this is the one game I've not got any notes for either. But it was a good Thursday night game. It was a good game to watch. There wasn't a massive deal on the defense side. Obviously, I played defense. Defense is what I enjoy watching. But it was the Lions. It was good to see the Lions get back into an aggressive football game. And the Cowboys have been so inconsistent anyway.
Yeah.
But it just proves it. You can beat both Super Bowl teams and then lose the week after. It just proves how inconsistent they've been.
Yeah. We've got a comment here. I'm going to read this out for anyone who's listening on the podcast. More teams means more pressure on BAFRA, which is the Referee Association. Yes, we recruit, but it takes time for new officials to learn qualify. I don't really want to diverge too much into the British American football scene, even though predominantly most of this page is about that. This is the NFL. But I will say this. Referees are so underappreciated in this sport. There's no referees, there's no games. We had too many incidents last season where referees got any form of abuse. A toxic level of abuse. Any form of abuse to a referee is not acceptable.
No.
So, something more needs to be done to protect our refs. But we certainly need more respect for our refs, and I'll leave it on that. Right, let's get on to the next game. I'm going
to love you and leave you there, guys. All right, I'm going to do some.
Good luck with your show, mate.
I'll
have fun.
Catch you again soon, guys.
He's behind you. Anyway, right, we're on to the next game, Steve. Next game was the Browns against the Titans. It wasn't a game I was interested in till I was watching it. Oh my God, mate! So I was in Hickories. I was watching it with the boys from the Buccaneers, my team. I love my team. And one of the lads is a Titans fan, and he wore his shirt and he wore it with pride. He didn't care.
Nice.
And they won, and I was made up for them. There was a video, and we're like, yeah, I'm celebrating like the Broncos had just won. But it was a horrendous game, on some aspects because it, both teams are great. But wow, what an entertaining game! Did you catch it, mate?
Yeah, I did. I watched. So I didn't watch it live, but I watched it afterwards just to catch up, especially because of the score.
Mm-hmm.
It was a surprise. So what I've written here is it's a surprise, but not interesting. It doesn't really mean anything to anyone else, other than the fact that the Giants won their bye week because they ended up falling into number one for draft spots because the Titans won.
It's an interesting one. Do you really want to claim that it's a
yeah? Good but also again, so as people who watches the Instagram and the power rankings, so I do the graphics for it. And I decided I thought that Shadur needed a shout out. He needed the hotspot spot because he had an insane game as a QB, but it wasn't his fault that they lost.
Yeah,
it was an amazing game from him. 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, a rushing score. That was a game and a half, but it's the defense let him down.
Same old story. Hang on, we've got a great comment here. I'll let you read that, mate.
Kevin Stefanski is a football terrorist. What a dumb idea to lose Shadur for 2 points. Yeah, so that's my mate Cameron, by the way.
Oh, is it? How angry were you, fella? Because you seem very angry.
No, the reason we're mates is because we both love stats and the tactical side of football. But yeah, so Shadur put up 3 scores, and then he had a rushing score, and then for some reason for the 2 point, they decided to remove him for 3 plays. Why would you take the only player on your team who was doing anything good out of the game for three plays as well? Like it was nonsense from them.
You have to agree with the comment when you wear stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next game, mate. So we've this was a slobber. This is a slobber fest. This was a kill fest, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Seahawks 37, Falcons 9.
Yeah.
Obviously, I feel like they've been at the top. In the top, let's say top 5 power rankings for pretty much everyone. Maybe not Lee.
No, they've been elite. So Lee was an advocate for them since like week 3
all
or 4.
right, but they've been brilliant all season, so it's going to be interesting now.
They're like
Because
dark horses, I think. I feel like
Yeah.
they've sort of they've like swooned. They're like swooned in, and it's like no one's expected it from them.
one thing I do praise about the Chiefs is when they play a knockout game, like the playoffs, the wild card
Yeah.
or whatever. They're a different team. Like it's like a mode switches on. It'll be interesting to see if Seahawks have that, and other teams, my team included. But yeah, great game. I've got nothing else to say on top of that. No, not a great game. I'll take that back because I like a close game. But great performance by Seahawks. You can't knock that performance at all. Okay. Anything to say on that one, or?
So for me, it's the Seahawks D and special teams. So Amanwari, I wanted to give him a shout out. First career interception, block field goal, a sack, and a tackle for loss that won the game. And also the Falcons special teams are having a nightmare. In that game, they had a blocked field goal. They had a kickoff that went out of bounds, which why? That's the only thing he has to do really.
Yeah.
And they allowed a 100-yard kick return. Like that special teams needs work.
Yeah.
You can't like you're coming out for special teams. You know what you're doing. You can't be letting all that happen to you.
It's mad. It is mad. And we it's funny because like I was involved in a game last year, and there was a clip that went viral of the ball. Our wide receivers caught the ball. He's been tackled. He's dropped the ball, and then their D end or linebackers grabbed the ball. But instead of running into our end zone, he's ran into his own end zone.
I saw that.
And FYI, it was hilarious.
Was it not a long return as well?
Yeah, mate, he's tucking on the chin as well. By the way, I'm speaking to someone. Apparently, he's a great guy. Anyway, there's been some stupid clips this year.
Yeah,
there's been some hilarious stupid moments. And looking by that, that's a day the Falcons won't want to really go back to. Should we move on to the next result, mate? We've got a lot of games to go through this week. Jags, Colts. I wasn't expecting. I mean, I thought the Jags would win, but I didn't think they'd batter them. Jags 36, Colts 19. You're up, mate.
Yeah, I mean the Colts are sort of showing that they started off strong, but they can't. They're not going to be, even if they get in the playoffs, they're not going to be a team that gets out of the wild card round. They don't have the.
It's like everyone. How many people do you think were expecting this? Because I've not spoken to anyone who's like, the Colts are going to win it all. Like, oh no, they're doing good, but they'll fall.
No, I do have a Colts fan who's been every week sending me stuff, and he's also been sending me lots of negative Patrick Mahomes memes and stuff.
Worse than me.
And I'm just like, yeah. And like I was like, look, mate, it's not going to continue. It's Danny Jones. It's not going to happen, and it happened. I do feel bad that he got injured though, because now, that's going to leave. Wow, don't know who knows. I don't know if everyone knows or not, but that has left the Colts to hire Philip Rivers, who's 44 and has a grandchild, first ever grandfather in the NFL. I did come up with a game. I did think Lee was going to be on for longer, so I'm going to shorten it a little bit. There are 12 head coaches who are younger than Philip Rivers. How many do you think you can name?
Don't know. None.
None of them.
Go on.
I thought the Broncos one would be on there. Steichen, so his own head coach is younger than him. The Cards head coach, Gannon. Kevin Stefanski, who's already come up. Mike McDaniel, Zach Taylor. D'Amico Ryans, the Texans head coach. Liam Cohen. Kevin O'Connell. Sean McVay. Ben Johnson. Kellen Moore, who is the youngest of all the head coaches. And Mike McDonald. All of those head coaches are younger than Philip Rivers, who's going to be playing in teams. So Cameron's come back up saying if Jones didn't tear that Achilles, they'd have a chance. Yeah, no, they did. I had them very close, or sort of. I think I had them. I don't have my notes on where I put them in my prediction from a couple of weeks ago, but I thought the Colts were gonna. I didn't think they would. I thought they'd struggle, but I wasn't sure. But now that he's gone, I don't know. Philip Rivers, I'm excited to see him play, but
Imagine it.
I don't think he's going to be good enough to take him through. However, though,
Imagine it. Right, the scene is set. 4th and 15. Philip Rivers comes on, throws it, mid-air catch, one-handed catch. Someone catches it, touchdown. Like,
it'll be a while.
It would be on Netflix within a year, mate.
It would. But also Philip Rivers, so he's a head coach for one of his many children's high school team, and he runs the Colts offense. So he's been on the phone with the Colts.
How many kids has he got?
It's in the teens.
No.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many it is, but there's a lot of kids. But yeah, so his one of his son's high school teams, he's been running
kids?
the Colts.
10 kids?
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
No. Hang on. There's Philip Rivers, him and his wife, parents of 10 kids.
That man needs a TV.
I'm not saying any more. Should we move on to the next game?
Yeah, let's go.
Let me get it up. Right, next game. Worst game of the week. Worst in the Broncos Thursday night game. Vikings 31, Commanders 0. 0. Let me just shout that out loud. 0. That is horrendous.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
0.
So, and just as you're reiterating that, the Vikings are the first team since 1992 to get, because they got shut out last week.
Correct. I did see that stat. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were the first team to get shut out and then shut someone out the week after since 1992, which is
Don't
insane.
Don't swear.
What the hell is the Vikings doing at this point?
Yeah, I'm trying not to swear, to be honest, mate. Even if that was my team winning 31-0, I wouldn't like it.
No.
I don't,
Although, to be fair, I did enjoy it when the Chiefs did it to the Raiders, but that's because we hate the Raiders. And it was also 31-0 against the Raiders.
Yeah, no one likes the Raiders. I've not got anything to say in this, but like, this is like a massive show for me of how inconsistent some teams can perform.
Yeah.
Because, Commanders gave Broncos all hell, and even into overtime. And then this...
Well, I've got two things to say on it. So obviously Jaden Daniels re-injured his shoulder, so I don't think he's going to play the rest of the season. I don't really think he should have been in the game because they're eliminated. They shouldn't be putting him out. But also, did you see the tackle on Zach Ertz?
No, I didn't. You're going to have to send me it.
It's a horrible tackle. He was in the air. I don't know why he was in the air, to be fair. Mm-hmm. But the tackle went through his knee and it's torn his Achilles. But that tackle has now gone to the NFL team who's investigating whether the player on the Vikings side should be suspended for the rest of the season or not. Because it was just not a remotely fair tackle.
If it sounds like it was pretty bad, you'll have to send me that. Next game I want to talk about. Wow, this is up there for offense game of the week. Definitely not defense. Bills 39, Bengals 34.
Yeah.
Wow, did you watch this? I caught quite a lot of this.
Yeah, I did. And for the first 3 quarters, the Bengals looked like they were going to win the game. They were miles ahead.
Mate, like. They were dominating on offense and defense. I was like, what?
I thought that was going to be the beginning. So Joe Burrow was back. I thought it was going to be the beginning of them making themselves get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And yet the Bengals become Bengals again in the 4th quarter. But also, I would like to say, I am enjoying the fact that snow games are back. I love snow games.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
When I was watching the Denver Broncos in Colorado, they have like all the games on in the TVs, and one of them was a snow game, and I was like, because it was roasting in Colorado that day, I was like, this is mental. And so I'm like, what do you mean by mental? It's like, we're roasting, we're having a beer, there's burgers, and all this, and it's snowing, and it wasn't like a little bit of snow. They were like, when like you're lifting your feet, you're lifting your knees up higher because the snow's that deep. But yeah, I love that. Right, next game, shocker for me, because I backed the Buccaneers. Buccaneers against the Saints. 24, the Saints won to 20. Still vomiting at the kit. Where did this come from?
Yeah, I don't know, but like the thing is, the Bucs have been on a downward trajectory for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So like, obviously, maybe 6 weeks ago, Mayfield was in the top 2 or 3 for MVP, and now all of a sudden he's gone 4 straight games fewer than 200 passing yards. It's just not going to cut it in this league.
No, definitely not.
Although, to be fair, Tyler Shue put on a good game. Like, considering he's a backup as well. Like, he had a good game.
I was watching this one of Hickory's. It looked like it was to and from all game.
Yeah.
It wasn't a game I really kept an eye on. Obviously you look over, I'm not really that bothered about that one because I just thought the Bucks would slap them.
Yeah.
And I'm wrong again. Moving on to the next one. This was a brilliant game. This could decide who's making who's getting the automatic playoff spot. But it was the Raiders and the Ravens and the Steelers. And the Steelers won 27-22. It just looked like Ravens were all over, that run game. Steelers were all over the run game, forcing the Ravens to throw. And it was a good game. This, to be fair, 1 minute you thought something was going to happen, next minute something else was happening. I'm interested to get your thoughts on this one, mate.
I think so this is going to be a little bit of a cut forward, but I think it's very similar to how teams have worked out to beat Mahomes. So Steelers just kept bringing pressure. So they gave Lamar no chance of scrambling or running, and all of a sudden he was panicking because he's not actually a great. He's
not a great thrower. He's
a good QB. Let's give him that, but he's not a great QB.
Yeah.
So
if he had an injury where that took when soccer players get an injury and it takes a massive part of the pace off, even when they've come back, they've spent a year in rehabilitation and stuff. If he had an injury like that, he wouldn't make the first team for majority of teams. He's poor. He is poor. His throwing is that poor. I'm making up words now.
Yeah, but the other thing I was going to say about this game as well. So the Steelers, they were in charge for the whole game, but they sort of lost all steam in the fourth quarter. But luckily for them, the Ravens they had 3 red zone visits in the fourth quarter, and all they got was 2 field goals out of it.
Yeah,
the defense helped the Steelers because the first 3 quarters they were great, and then obviously by the fourth quarter it was like they were a different team, and the Steelers were like, "Well, I don't know what offense is anymore."
But do you know what the mental thing is? If you had to put £10 on which team's going to get the furthest this season, you'd still put the £10 on the Ravens for me.
I mean, I don't know. I have been sort of wanting the Steelers to make the playoffs all season because I like A-Rod.
Yeah.
He's a great player. He's a little bit old, but I mean, he's not going to be the oldest quarterback this week. So,
because looking at the Steelers fixtures, they've got the Dolphins, who are still within a chance.
The Dolphins have had an insane run as well.
Yes, and then they've got the Lions. We know how good they are. Then they've got the Browns. That's which version of the Browns are you getting? They should win that one, but then they're away to. Then they're at the Ravens again.
Yeah.
And that last game of the season, I tell you what, my team's playing. I forget about my team for now. We're playing Chargers. Let's not forget about that. That's going to be a great game to watch in the final.
I think the last game's going to be the decider between the two of them. I think they're both going to have a good few weeks, but I think that game's going to decide it.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's get back to these results. Where are we? Week 14. So next up, again, we've just been talking about them. The things, the Miami Dolphins, 34 points to 10. Wow. Let's talk about that little run. Have you got the results up and who the last few wins, mate? Or
so I don't know the teams, but I know. So week 7, the Dolphins were 1-6, and now they're 6-7. So I'm not sure where the loss came, if I'm honest. But they've had one loss.
To be fair, though, if they did not lost that one game, everyone would be talking about them.
Yeah,
but you're taking that pressure off. Do you know what I mean? Because if they'd have won 7 in a row, people would be backing them to do all sorts. Whereas they're kind of climbing up with no one really looking. Do you get what I mean by that?
Yeah, you got the same record as the Chiefs, and it's 2 very different ways to get into that record.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs lost the first 2 and then had a couple of wins and then a couple of losses and a couple of wins. Whereas the Finns went, let's just lose all the games and then let's win a load of games.
Literally.
This wasn't a surprise for me, this score, because the Jets haven't been good. I didn't think the Finns were going to put 34 points.
Yeah.
But again, this was a game. So I think they've slowly realised that Tua isn't someone you can lean on.
Yeah.
In this game, they ran for 240 yards. It was all rush. Tua did a few things here and there, but it was all rush, and which is what they need to do to keep them getting into the playoffs and keep them going forwards, is to not rely on Tua too much. Because this year, it's not. I think he needs the time to get over his concussions. Maybe next year he'll be better, but right now he's not good enough to be an elite quarterback.
Okay. Next game we're going to talk about. Denver Broncos 24, Raiders 17. I thought Bo Nix had a brilliant game in this game. Raiders, hang on, let's have a little look. Are they still? Yeah, you want to read this one, mate?
Are they still doing the International Pathway Program? I believe they are, because we had Reece Amick come through last year through that way. I can't see why they wouldn't be doing that. But we have seen a lot. So we've got an Irish kicker in the NFL. But
he's pretty good as well, apparently.
He's doing really well. Yeah, he's having a really good season. But other than that, we don't have a lot of Brits. There's a lot more African descendants. I don't know if that's African people being born in America and they just grow up that way or what. I don't know how that's happening, but with the Brits, we don't get a lot of them.
Yeah, I wish we got more, especially with how big rugby's over here. But it's how quick people can transition them skills over.
It's a very different game.
Oh, 100%. Going back to this game, I want to go over to you now, mate. But for me, it was just it was business. It was just getting the job done. It wasn't a game I was overly worried about. We had a few Raiders fans sat next to us in Hickories, and they just kind of got a bit of abuse from me for the remainder of the night.
Yeah, well, so as you said a few weeks ago, the Raiders are your bogey team. So I did keep an eye on this because I was intrigued whether they could do it or not. Bo Nix, this actually was his best game of the season. 31 of 38, 212 yards. It actually really was. But what happened? So it wasn't an exciting game to watch. There was not it wasn't amazing, but from a coaching point, it really was, because you guys had 39 minutes of possession.
Yeah.
3 touchdown drives of 8 minutes 54 or longer. You basically all you did was just drive their defense into being too tired to play. And that's how you won it, and that's very good coaching. But the other thing as well, so this was interesting. So the Broncos' last 5 wins, your point differential is only 17 points, which is the second lowest by a team on a 5-win streak in NFL history. The only team that beat that was a 1986 Super Bowl winning Giants, where they had 15 points in 5 games.
Do you know what? It's because of the way the coaching's been that good in terms of play call, in terms of what to do and stuff like that. When we get to the playoffs, if we're behind, I'm obviously going to be nervous, but I'm going to be like, look what we've done so far.
I would be too. I would be too if I was a fan, because like the stat I just pointed out is that you're not putting up offensive numbers. It's all defense, which is great because defense wins championships. But
look at them 2 losses, mate.
Yeah.
How many points did they been by?
Well, both of them as well. The 2 losses happened at 0-0.
Yeah.
But even then, that was it. But you keep close games, which is, when it comes to the playoffs, I would be worried as a Broncos fan.
We'll see.
It's not like you're putting up 3 or 4 touchdown drives in a row and defending against it.
But obviously, if we could, we would. Every team would. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it will be. I want to move on to this next game because it was a pasting. It's quite a quick one. This one, mate. The Rams come back with a swinging hammer. 45, Cardinals 17. At one point, I heard someone shout, "Stop it! They're already dead."
So, the first note I wrote was 3 blind mice would have been a better defense than the Cards this week. I don't know why I wrote that, but that's what I wrote whilst watching the game. They had an average of 8.1 yards per play on 55 plays, which is insane. But I do want to shout out Michael Wilson for the Cardinals. He put up a hell of a game and a hell of a fight for wide receiver 1 next year. 142 yards, 2 touchdowns in a very poor game from the Cardinals. He's definitely, if he's not wide receiver 1, he's definitely someone that you should be looking at for fantasy next year. Maybe in your flex position.
When do you start looking at your fantasy football league? Like when do you when the draft's been done, or like?
Yeah, so I normally draft at least one rookie, so I make sure I pay attention to the draft.
Okay.
Because I like to try and do like a rookie pick of the year and keep him in the squad, and then just be like, "Oh, guys, look, I knew he was going to be good from the draft."
Yeah, I can't say that word. I was going to say something that I shouldn't have. Right, moving on. Okay. This game was brilliant. It was fantastic. Packers 28, Bears 21. I
This was
love the
probably my
Bears.
game of the week.
Yeah, mate, the bit like I'm gutted for the Bears. Like again, kind of like the Dolphins, they've kind of snuck up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But we should be talking about the Bears well more. But the 8-0 Packers, as you backed them originally, go for it, mate. You're up.
So yeah, so I mean, it was literally within the last minute of the game there was an interception in the end zone, and that's what sealed it for the Packers. But it was an insanely good game to watch.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, Caleb Williams in the first half only had 32 passing yards. In the second half, he had 154 and 2 touchdowns. So, Cameron is also a Packers fan. Provided we stay healthy, and more importantly, Micah Parsons stay healthy, there is not a team in the league I can see beating us in the playoffs. Jordan Love's a real deal.
Who have they got this weekend?
They have Broncos, yeah.
You're getting beat this weekend. You just don't chat absolute balmy rubbish, you divvy. You're getting battered this weekend by. When I say battered, you're getting battered by 1 point. I'm going to beat you by 1 point.
Actually,
There's the prediction.
to be fair, he is up in Sheffield. We could say if you lose, get him to give you a Packers jersey next week.
Mate,
pretty close.
I wouldn't wear anyone's jersey. No.
Yeah. But it was the third quarter. Jordan Love, 186 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that's where the game was. But what I will say before we start making our picks, since the Packers hired Matt LaFleur in 2019, they're 27-7 from week 13 onwards.
Right.
They close the season very well.
Hang on. Whoa. Comment here from Captain. What's his name?
Cameron.
Captain Cameron. See, I didn't even know it began with C. Will score single digits. What are you lying for? You're chatting wham, bubble wham, mate. Not a chance. Do an L set, let it go. And I'm hiding that comment. Right, next game. Want to talk about this?
Have we got a guest for next week?
Yeah, your mate Captain Cameron. Right.
I was going to say, should we get him on? Because that'd be interesting.
Does he play? Has he played?
No, but he's like a stat nerd like me, so be interesting to see.
We'll have him on. Tell him to bring all the stats up when the Broncos absolutely slapped him. Right, on to the next one. I said it was going to happen. I say, Ashley. And the Texans absolutely slapped the Chiefs 20 points to 10. It was a bit of a mad one to wake up to. Because obviously the last 2 games were you and your and Lee's team, where mine. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Texans are a brilliant team, defensively one of the best teams in the league. Chiefs, I can't point to it. You might have your thing.
So it was actually Cameron who pointed this out to me, that the teams have realised if you put fake pressure on Mahomes, that's when it becomes really bad. And that's
how do you fix that?
He needs to, because what he does is when he feels like there's pressure, whether it's fake or real, he goes for his progression too fast and tries to be the hero. He needs to remember that his players are there. But also, we did have 10 drops in this game. So the wide receivers, no one's catching anything.
It wasn't a great day in the office for your wide receivers.
It wasn't. But to be fair, like our defense did enough to win that game. Yes, the Texans put up 20 points, but our defense was decent. Like if we had the offense from a couple of years ago.
Can't you just say, because I've never heard a Chiefs fan say this, for anyone watching this, please, by all means, comment if you agree or disagree. Can't a Chiefs fan or a pundit just say, the Chiefs got beat by the better team? Go.
We got beat by the better team.
It happened.
We did.
Because I never see it as an excuse, anything like that. It blows my blood when people say, "Oh, the Chiefs aren't paying the refs." No one's ever paid the refs.
No,
it's not my
we got beat by better coaching. We got beat by a defense making Mahomes do the things that he had to do, which was make irrational throws and unnecessary things he didn't have to do. It was very good from the
So-
defensive coach.
I've got a question for you there.
Yeah.
I've got a few questions. So I'm going to say some results. I want you to tell me who's going to win. Okay. So first one, let me find it. Where is? You got a bye week?
No, we had our bye week already.
Yeah, Chiefs Chargers.
Chiefs. We got to make up for week 1.
Okay. Chiefs Titans.
Chiefs.
Okay, 1 minute. We've got a comment. I'll read that in a minute. Chiefs Broncos.
That was the only question mark I have for the next 4 games. Your defense, especially if they've realised that if you just pressure Mahomes, he can't play football. But again, like I said, you keep close games.
Chiefs Broncos.
At this point, I'm going to have to say Broncos.
Okay. And last, but is it last? No, it might not be. 1 minute, 2 seconds.
Should be Raiders last game.
Chiefs Raiders.
Chiefs.
So does 3 wins get you to the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
Takes us to 9 wins, which is not enough.
Okay.
We have so for those people who love the numbers and that, for the Chiefs to be able to get into the playoffs, we need to win out. We need the Chargers to lose to either the Cowboys or the Texans, and then also lose to the Broncos. And we need the Colts to have 2 losses.
So I think we'll beat the Chargers, and I think the Texans will beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
And I think they're 2 really fair shouts. We know depleted the Chargers O-lines. Yeah. It's going to be interesting for me. Obviously, I think again, I'm repeating myself, but defense wins games, defense wins championships. Texans one of the best defense in the league. Should we get on to the next one? Talk about the Chargers. Chargers 22, Eagles 19. I said this would happen. They don't react very well to. Read this comment. I do apologise. This is why Mahomes will never be in the greatest of all time conversation. Brady wins them, Rodgers wins them, but Mahomes has Super Bowl rings. So
Mahomes has many more rings than Rodgers.
I'm gonna disagree with that comment. Is that your mate again, Captain?
Yeah,
whatever.
Cameron, yeah.
You'd see what I mean. Don't always talking rubbish. Behave, lad. Broncos win next week. Anyway, Chargers, Eagles. I watched the highlights of this one. It wasn't the greatest of days in the office for the Eagles offense.
4 interceptions for Hurts. Okay.
There you go.
You're at the bottom now. Yeah, 4 interceptions for Hurts. It's weird. This was a game that I obviously, for the first time this season, wanted the Eagles to win because it would have helped the Chiefs potentially make the playoffs if we play well enough. But that's left us. I think it's like 12% chance to get the playoffs.
That's crazy. That's well. I love how they predict it all. By the way, we need to go over this more in a bit. But look, I've not really got much to say on that one. It was a surprising one. I do think Eagles will make playoffs. I think they'll win the remainder of the games.
Yeah, the only thing I've got to say about that is the fact that in week 14, the 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks combined for 0 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
That's crazy.
And those were the quarterbacks in the championship game of the sport that we love.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Well, folks, that's week 14, and I now want to go into Lee's power rankings, and I can't give him any grief because he's on his pantomime. So let's go through it. Starting at number 10, he's got the 49ers. At number 9, he's got the Jags. At number 8, he's got the Bears. At number 7, he's got the Lions. 6, he's got the Packers. 5, the Bills. 4, the Patriots. 3, the Seahawks. Number 2, them Denver Broncos. And number 1, the LA Rams. It's mental because I think the Eagles were in the top 4. They've been pretty much top 4 all year.
Yeah,
and they've gone. I
was surprised when he sent them. I almost messaged saying, "Did you forget the Eagles or what?"
Yeah, I rank the Eagles above the 49ers, but I get it at the same time.
Especially after last week. If you put that team in the playoffs now, how Lee does it is how he predicts the playoffs are going to go.
Yeah.
If you put that Eagles team in the playoffs, they're not winning a single game.
So what, you think Broncos and Rams in the final?
That'd be a good final, to be fair.
That'd be a great game.
That would be.
Yeah.
Defense versus very offense.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So I think we get into week 15, mate. Let's get into it. So, again, folks, we'd love most of you on here, apart from that captain guy who's just chatting absolute rubbish about the Broncos. Clip that. But yeah, we love you on. So if you want to come on, by all means, drop the page, Instagram, Facebook page, a message. Drop one of us a message. We'd love to get you on here. Tell us if you're involved in the Britball community. Tell us what you do. Give your team a bit of a mention. Rookie days, stuff like that. How they can register interest.
Hey,
And,
Cameron, if you're still watching, if you want to comment and say if you want to come on next week before the game happens, if we agree to it now, let us know.
I don't think he will. He knows. Right, on to it, mate. Buccaneers versus the Falcons. I'm going for the Bucks.
I've gone for the Falcons. The Bucks are having a decline. The Falcons sort of deserve a win. This was one of many.
Mate, you don't deserve a win. There's no deserving a win.
Yeah, but I just think, I don't know. I don't think the Bucks are playing well the last few weeks at all. And why would they they lost to the Saints last week? Like, who else are they going to lose to at this point?
Right. Well, you're going for the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Well, I'm in.
He's
Does that
in.
mean? Okay. Well, right. Well,
There you go.
wear your jersey, mate, and bring some tissues. You're gonna cry. Right. On to the next one. Bengals Ravens. It's good. I think this is gonna be a brilliant game. I think this is going to be a very high scoring game. However, I'm going for the Ravens.
I think the same. I'm also going Ravens. I just think, like, Joe Burrow and the offense can be as good as they want. That defense is awful.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the Ravens do have the better defense. They're gonna get a stop in the late fourth, I reckon, and then they're gonna put up some points to win the game. I think it's gonna be close though.
Okay, Eagles Raiders. Who are you going for?
Eagles. Yeah, of course. The Raiders. Even after last week, if you say the Raiders, I'm gonna have to disown you as a friend.
Raiders.
Oh my god. We both hate the Raiders. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
What?
Look, I get these feelings, and they happen.
Yeah.
They happen.
Next up, to be fair though, you did say a couple of weeks ago the Eagles never bounce back from a loss with a win. So
even though I've just said that I think the Eagles are going to win the rest of the games, I've still picked the Raiders. Or maybe I hope the Raiders win. Anyway, Texans against the Cardinals. I'm going for the Texans here. I'm a big fan of the Texans.
Yeah, I'm a big Texans fan. I've got them in my playoff berth that you may have seen on the Instagram, guys. The Cardinals again. They keep keeping games close, but they just can't finish a game properly.
Okay, next one. Chiefs, Chargers. Who are you backing here, fella?
Other than the Broncos game, I have no question. I'm always going to go to Chiefs. When it comes in 2 weeks' time, it's going to be how we've played the last couple of weeks. But I'm going Chiefs this week. I'm
going for the Chiefs as well.
Is that because you don't want someone to battle you for number one if you lose?
No, I think you'll win. Win. And it means I think if we win next week, we'd get the division because.
I'm gonna have to. I've been trying to find it, by the way, but one of the first weeks of the podcast, I said that I don't think the Broncos were good enough to win a division this year, maybe next year. So I'm trying to find the clip to clip it myself to make myself be embarrassed. But I did say that, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll go back to that in a bit. Patriots Bills. I think this will be a brilliant game, but I'm backing the Bills.
I'm backing the Bills. They lost to the Patriots already this season. I think the Bills are at the point now where they have to turn on the playoff football.
I also think if you look at, I've seen some comments that people like to come up with excuses when a team does really well.
Yeah.
And people have said the Patriots, teams they played against, and I had a little look, and to be fair, they've had a decent run of teams who've not been playing at the best time. So yeah, that's my reason for the Bills.
No, I do agree that New England they are number one or number two, but they've only been playing awful teams because I don't know how people know, but like depends on where you finish in division, you end up playing people of the same position.
Yeah.
Within the league, so you end up playing. So if you finish third, you end up playing a lot of third position teams. If you build a good team, you're playing third position teams. You're gonna have a good run.
Yeah, no, defo. Jags versus Jets. Jags.
Yeah, I've gone Jags. I think they're gonna make a run. I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs, but I think they're gonna put their effort into it. The Jets have nothing to play for anymore, so
yeah. Giants and Commanders. I'm going for Giants.
I've gone Giants as well.
This is the perfect game for Giants to kind of find a bit of form and finish the season with a bit of pride.
Especially Jaden Daniels not in there anymore. Is it Marcus Mariota playing for them now, or is he injured? I don't know what they're doing, but I think Jackson. I've really liked Jackson Dart since he became a starter. So I'm going Giants for that game.
Ha 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 ha! Get this guy on the show next week, you little rat.
We're gonna get him on. It'll be funny.
Do you know what? If you look at who we have played this season, the Broncos. We beat the Eagles. We've beat some great teams this year. But obviously, I understand people's putting concern when we're only just winning the games. But for me, it's still great management that we're able to do that.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is.
I've just had to think about the 9-3-1 Green Bay Packers against the 11-2 Broncos. There you go. That's what you like to see.
I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm very excited for it. Excited for next week.
We'll get into that in a moment. So I've gone for Giants. You've gone for Giants.
Yep.
Now we're going to go into the Bears and the Browns. Dead easy one for me. This Bears, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play.
Bears hands down.
Yeah. Next game, Saints Panthers. I fancy Panthers to spank the Saints.
Yeah, I've got the Panthers here as well. I've got the Panthers being very close to my playoffs. So if I get one prediction wrong, they could be within the playoffs. I think.
I love this part of the season. I love every part of the season. Who am I kidding? We've then got the Rams against the Lions. Who are you going for here?
So for me, I think this could be this either could be game of the week, or one team's going to absolutely destroy it. But I'm going for the Rams.
I'm going for the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the week where the Denver Broncos go top. The Lions are going to do us a favour, and the Broncos will be top. In fact, no one later put the Broncos down to 10th. Yeah. Because it is one. Seahawks, Colts. I think this will be a great game, but I'm going to be backing the Seahawks, who've just been phenomenal for the whole season.
Yeah, I'm backing the Seahawks, and also the Colts are either playing their third string quarterback, but he was injured during the game. So if Phillip Rivers isn't ready, they've only got a tight end who can play, who's their emergency quarterback.
Mate, I'm telling you right now.
And then you've got Phillip Rivers. But
Phillip Rivers is in that squad.
Yeah. I mean, you don't sign a 44-year-old if you're not going to play him.
He's been practicing for weeks, mate. I'm telling you now.
Again, like I said, he's coaching his son's high school team, so he's ready for it. But I'm still going Seahawks.
Broncos, Packers.
Unfortunately for you, I'm going to back my mate Cameron. I've gone Packers this week.
Got a bit of brown on the end of your nose there, mate.
Well, as I said to you, so the only reason I've gone for that, I think it's going to be a close game, but I had the Raiders to beat the Broncos this week because they're your bogey team. So I've decided that this would be your loss for the rest of the season if you have a loss. So I thought I'd go for Green Bay this week.
As you can tell, I'm voting for the Denver Broncos because we're not going to get beat. We're not going to get beat. This guy might show up next week. He might not. We'll find out. 49ers and the Titans. I'm going to go for the 49ers.
Yeah. Even after last week, the 49ers wins, but it's not like the 49ers are a team that could get into the playoffs, but like they're just not good enough at the moment.
They're not consistent. Consistent. Cowboys, Vikings. I'm going to be going for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going for the Cowboys as well, but like the Vikings,
must win.
Both teams have been so inconsistent. This was one of my games of the week, which is a complete flip of the coin.
And then Steelers and Dolphins. I'm going to go for the Finns. I'm back to Dolphins.
Yeah, we had a chat about this, but I'm going for the Steelers. I think the Steelers have got a better defense, and I think if Aaron Rodgers has his day, then that's about it.
Okay. Well, that's that. No teams have bye weeks now. Is that correct?
Yeah, no more bye weeks the rest of it until playoffs,
which are very, very close.
They are very close.
Yeah.
Are you in the playoffs for any of your fantasy leagues yet?
No, I don't think I am. I think I'm close on two of them. One of them, I'm definitely not. You're in that one.
Yeah.
I've won a game now, so I'm not really that bothered.
I don't know how you won a game, if I'm honest. Like, the Broncos can be as good as they want. You can't have an entire team full of one team and win a game in fantasy. That's not how it works. I've got this week. If I win this week in our league, I'm in the playoffs. I'm currently position 4. We've only got a 4-team playoffs. And it's really annoying because I'm playing Lee, so I have to beat Lee to get into the playoffs, to then play Lee probably next week.
Look, we'll go through it. Folks. It's been an absolute pleasure once again. We'd love you on every week. That's week 15 of the Audible. I'm going to let you say it because you're up top, mate.
Well, I've been Steve.
I've been Matteo. Thank you very much, folks. Get your fancy football team sorted, and we will see you next week. Take care, folks. Bye.
With Cameron.
With Cameron, yes, and maybe Louis.